Like tomorrow night's game, Commanders and Bears, should be a shit show.
Yeah.
Should be an absolute shit show. Now, I think the Chicago Bears have done some good things every once in a while, just haven't been able to win some games. The Commanders have done some good things.
Yeah.
Almost beat the Titans last week. Should have beat the Titans probably if you really watch the film back. So both these teams have some shit going, but they also have a chance to be great. And maybe this is a week that it turns around for them. You know, the Denver Broncos head coach Nathaniel Hackett, Darius, said that we're going through growing pains right now. Everything's fixable. We just got to keep going. Do you believe that? Do you think like teams have shown what they are already, or do you think there is chance for massive growth in the middle of a season?
Still definitely chance for massive growth. A lot of ball left, a lot of adjustments left to be made. You know, with certain teams, you know, everybody's dealing with injuries or people coming back off of PUP lists and things like that. So yeah, it's definitely. But when you look at the Broncos and watching that team, I mean, especially if you look at their division too, because you look at the other teams in that division that you expect to continue to get better. I don't have a lot of hope with that team. I mean, like Russ shockingly looks bad this year.
Yeah, they're dead.
Yeah, I like in the decision making, like that interception that he threw to Gilmore. Shout out to Gilly Lock for making that play. But that's not a throw you make, especially on that matchup. Like that was a backup receiver coming in for Sutton. You throw that when you're in control of the game. You go up 6 points at that point. Yeah, that felt like you going up 30 points in that game. So just like some of the decisions and. It's not looking good out there in Denver.
So Richard Sherman gave a passionate speech after Thursday Night Football last week.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Passionate.
It's a lot.
He was pissed.
It was passionate.
It was.
Had to be some real genuine emotion in there to be that passionate. I assume he cares for Russ or the opposite.
Yeah, hates his
Exactly.
guy.
There's actual care. There's actual feelings there because the passion, and maybe that's Richard Sherman on TV, by the way.
True.
And if that's the case, great clip. Hey,
Yeah.
great piece to add to sports media. I can't wait to watch him. I think his brain is fantastic. I think his resume is great, and he comes from an angle that nobody else does. He's Richard Sherman. I mean, there's no other Richard Shermans out there. From Compton, went to Stanford, wide receiver, now a corner. I mean, just Super Bowl champ, has some of the biggest moments. There's nobody like Richard Sherman, so maybe that is just how Richard Sherman's going to be. But he was very passionate after that Thursday Night Football Boar Fest that, run the damn ball, basically. And I wonder if we saw Russ on prime time, and in those moments he's making those off-script plays and he's throwing it far. All those other games that aren't on prime time, I wonder if it's super run-heavy, dominant in the games that we don't watch. In prime time, Russ is different. Or has it always been the fact that Russ can't just do everything with his arm? Because in my eyes, when Russ signs with the Broncos and he gets Nathaniel Hackett, who's this West Coast offense guru or whatever, because his dad was in it or whatever, it's like, and he's got weapons. Oh, Russ is going to cook. He's going to cook. But now everybody that has kind of like knows him, like it sounds like they're all iterating the same thing. Like, hey, it all goes through the run game, and then Russ can make decisions after, which is every quarterback. But I think it was being marketed to us and perpetuated to us like, hey, let Russ cook, let Russ cook, let Russ cook. And it seems like his meal is a lot more a lot more of this, and then which is that's a lot of
Not a
quarterbacks.
bad thing, yeah. Brady does it a lot. But, I mean,
so do you think the Broncos didn't know that? Like, do you think that's because it sounds like
the Waltons damn sure didn't know it. I'd tell you, they didn't know it. But you always, and that's why coming into this year, I said I'd be shocked if the Raiders or the Broncos won. And everybody was like, oh, anybody can win this division. So much talent,
we
new
were saying
quarterbacks,
that.
new coaches. But that's moving parts. Like, you got Hackett coming in. He's got a whole nother set of issues. Already hired somebody to help him with game management. And even if you think about that 4th and 1 play.
Forgot about that.
They called, I think the defense called a timeout. Offense came out. They called a timeout. Then they come out for the 3rd time in the same formation. So, before the ball even snapped, I'm like, as a defensive coordinator, as a defensive player.
Kodak?
Yeah, but they gave us a Kodak, too. Usually that's something we do. We wait for the formation, wait for a shift or a motion, call a late timeout.
It's called Kodak. Take a picture of what they're running.
Yeah, so so that you know, okay, because once you get a formation, now you have a menu. Because as a play caller, defensive coordinator, all you have is personnel, you know the time, obviously the field position. But now, if you're giving me the formation, now I have a much higher success rate to stop whatever play is coming. Like if I know where Judy is, or I know where this player or that player is, now that helps me defend that play. So when I saw that, that's on coaches, that's on even the quarterback. Hey, let's come out with something different. Maybe you have another play in the chamber. But there's a lot of moving parts there. They could turn it around. Honestly, I'm not very bullish on them. But it's just, man, now he's dealing with an injury too, the shoulder injury. Man, it's looking rough for the Broncos right now, unfortunately.
Well, I think Lombardi has been hammering this all year. Russ, when he he used to run a lot, and like teams would have to account for that. He'd be rushing for 50, 60 yards a game, and even in like on Thursday night, I think it was on the first possession, he had like a 17-yard run. They march right down the field. They don't score, but maybe it's because he wants to be remembered, allegedly as a top 5 quarterback of all time. Like, he doesn't want to run anymore. He wants to stay on the field. He doesn't want to get hurt, but like, that was a massive part of his game. When he was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, it was because at any point he could extend plays, and if no one's open, boom, he could take off and get you 14, 15 yards, and he would do that multiple times. He just doesn't do that anymore.
What were you saying, Tone?
So I was looking at that, like to start his career, like the first 4 years he had over 100 rushes. 2020 he had 83, and then last year it dropped to 43 rushes. So 40 less rushes, and now he has
40 less rushes.
I missed some games too though last year for the first time.
2 games.
Mouth
It was only
finger.
two.
Malfinger.
Yeah, it was only 2.
Middle finger. Malfinger.
He came back. Remember, he rehabbed for 22 hours a day.
Yeah, remember he did the walkthrough on the
Forgot.
field.
Yep.
Forgot him in the
Like
huddle.
2020 went 513 yards rushing to 183 in 2021.
So maybe we need to add an ingredient back in a recipe if we want to let Russ cook.
That's right.
Yeah, but
His feet.
But he's older now though, so
he's also missing throws. I feel like that we used to see him just hit
Yes.
on every single time.
Yes.
Like that deep ball to Judy against the Colts, where it was kind of in between 2 defenders and he overshot him. Like we saw Geno Smith hit Tyler Lockett
That
on that
was
mortar
that
ball,
was
filthy.
and it felt like we saw that from Russ damn near every week when
The
he
best,
was with
best
Seattle.
deep ball in the game.
Yeah, like that's what it was.
Russ has a shoulder, right? Didn't he stop and see
yeah.
a doctor has a shoulder?
Yep.
Shoulder can affect arm talent a lot.
Yeah.
I think that is something you can see quarterbacks' balls almost start looking like bottle rockets as opposed to, bombs out there. And I think maybe he had a shoulder issue. Was it going into last game or happening after last game because he stayed in L.A. or
Yeah.
went to L.A. to get it checked out? Had to go back to the house,
Yeah,
get it checked out.
but like, would that affect deep balls? Because even like
Shoulder injury?
what were
Yeah,
you
yeah.
What were you saying there?
What's that, man?
I don't know. I feel like I caught, I heard like a.
No, it's just a
voice.
lot of things. Like
I heard a voice.
If he
Yeah,
comes,
right? At the house, go back to the house. I heard
It was after the game.
yeah, because like I think it came out nothing was wrong. So like if you're his teammate, it's like, oh, this dude's flying back to L.A. for the unless you have the long weekend, he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Sure.
oh yeah, 3 days off.
Yeah, he's good, but he did get his shoulder checked out, so something has to happen. But I think like that would affect your ball if he has something wrong.
He
with it.
doesn't
Even
look
him
like-
overshooting guys.
He doesn't. He just doesn't look like. I mean, and last year he didn't look great either. Though. So it's not. This is not like he's just.
Yeah, but in
falling off
Monaco he looked good. Remember? He
Oh,
had,
man.
Cool.
With
He
his
always
shoulder
looks
pads
cool,
on.
yeah.
And when he was throwing a AB in his backyard and wherever his backyard is, we still can't find out where that is.
that's a very nice backyard. Was that in Seattle? That backyard?
I thought that
He was still
the
throwing there
Seattle
this
home.
year, I thought, this offseason.
Mr. Unlimited, man. He's had a great career.
No.
Outstanding career.
He's had a great career.
Super Bowl champion. With
greatest
his winning
defense.
percentage is unbelievable. Quarterback rating. So
baby.
Sure.
I mean, if he does fall off, shit, I mean, he had a great career. Everybody falls. Everybody can't be Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and these guys that play forever. So
Russ wants
Congrats.
to play.
and he got a lot of money. He's got a lot more
Wants to play till
guaranteed
he's
money.
45.
So
Broncos don't want to hear that.
I wanted to play. That was 4 years.
7-year
60
extension.
million more.
They're fucked.
No.
Well, hey, look.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Absolutely, but look at and I'm not doing this to shit on the Colts, but look at like Matt
Jeez,
Ryan.
come on.
Like if Russell Wilson is, if they want to get rid of Russell Wilson, who is going to take that contract? Because if they want to get rid of him, he's not probably playing that well.
Hey, we're going into week 6.
Exactly.
Okay, guy
Lot
just
of
signed
time.
for $230 million.
But he's missing throws. He's
Ah.
throwing guys behind.
Oh,
he's
no.
making bad decisions. And like that last play in overtime, we can say great play by Gilmore because it was. But Dorlowski brought it up. I mean, they had the man beater on the backside
They did.
in that bunch. And instead of doing what you're supposed to do as a quarterback, which I don't fucking know what to do, I'm just saying, based on what the formation and the man coverage, what you're supposed to do. Like, he didn't even make the right decision.
That's what Orlovsky
And
told
you
you.
probably
That's what
don't
Orlovsky said.
fucking throw at Stephon Gilmore again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With the game on the line, like.
I think it's interesting, all of it, because he did just get paid. He is going to be a Bronco for a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
so long.